Oh wow, we're doing another one. So yeah, it's Friday now, and I thought to myself, I have got time today because I was meant to record a Cosmos reaction today, but I did it yesterday. Edited it this morning, and I thought, I got time now. I got more time in the day. I'm going to cinema in like an hour's time from now. I've got time in the middle. So I watched the episodes until now, and I'm going to do this review quickly, then go to the cinema to watch King of the Planet of the Apes. But I've had some good fun once again watching the last few episodes, seeing a few familiar concepts and a few familiar storylines and faces that we've seen in more modern shows and Showa. Not Showa, but what was the era after Showa? The point is, I've seen some things that are in different eras of Ultraman that basically I'm seeing the original version of that, so I think that's pretty cool. Episode 17 is called Passport to Infinity. The kaiju in this one is Bulton or Balton, I don't know how you pronounce it, I've forgotten. Two meteorites basically land on Earth, very small meteorites, and they shouldn't be kept together. They're warned about this, and one of the main people who warns them about this is the kid. I can't remember the kid's name. They say his name every episode, but I can't remember his name. I keep forgetting his name. But there's a kid on the team, and no one takes him seriously. And that's like a running theme in the episode. No one takes him seriously. No one takes Akiko seriously either. So there are two things there. The child and the woman, not taken seriously. So every time the child says something smart, they don't take it seriously enough. And usually he's right, which is quite an interesting storyline. And I think it works quite well, because I feel like there's a lot of kids that could probably relate to that as well. So I think that's pretty good storytelling and good character building as well. I'm sure he'll be taken more seriously throughout the show, but so far I think he's a cool character. But anyway, SSSB, they keep these two. I should just call them Science Party. That makes so much sense. Anyway, the team keeps these rocks together even though they're warned not to, including from the kid. But it doesn't work. Even Akiko does not believe the kid either. He's just like, you can't keep them together. She's like, no, get out of the building, get out of here. But listen to him. He's right, Akiko. Stop doing this. And little do you know, they both go outside, and out comes Bolton, who I've seen. I think he was in one of the new shows. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Zed. I don't think it was Blazer. It wasn't Blazer. It was either Zed or Trigger. One of the two shows, this kaiju was there, 100%. I'm pretty sure I remember that. So yeah, I remember that this kaiju been there before. This kaiju can manipulate reality. It's like a circular kaiju. I mean, you guys know what it looks like probably, but a circular kaiju with like horns on it. At first I thought, that reminds me a little bit of If from Ultraman Max. But it's not that one. It's a different kaiju. But still, I remember it was in a new show. I just couldn't remember what it was, which show it was. But it was cool to see that thing again. It kind of traps the team. So like Akiko and the kid, they get out. Hayata's not at the building, so he's safe as well. So those three are safe. The rest of the team, they're trapped in the building. And Bolton puts them into like a four-dimensional sort of world, I guess. Well, they're in the building, but nothing's what it seems, I guess. At one point, they end up on top of a cliff, a random cliff. Ide jumps off the cliff and lands back in headquarters with a bucket on his head, and he's acting crazy because he thinks he's in a planet of darkness now, darkness dimension, because he's got a bucket on his head, he can't see anything. Just a funny, it was a funny scene though, it was a funny comedy scene. But the point is, nothing is as real as it seems because of the monster changing what their reality is. So a pretty tough kaiju, a tough antagonist. I really thought the scene was cool when the kaiju was fighting the military, and it made the tanks fly. The tanks were flying, basically driving on the road, driving in the sky, like there was a visible road, and then the monster just shot them all out the sky, one by one. I was just like, this monster is pretty damn savage. But what was even cooler was the fight scene when Hayata transformed. That was an amazing fight scene. It was very unique, very different. It's like this alternate reality sort of fight. Ultraman's pause, like Bolton pauses Ultraman, makes him still, puts him underground, puts him in a different dimension or something. Ultraman finds a way to counter it, eventually destroys Bolton. But I feel like that whole fight, it was like 2 minutes or something. That whole fight was just really fun to watch. I was just like, damn, this is really cool. So yeah, that was very unique for an Ultraman fight, that's for sure. And the fact that it was all practical effects, no computer effects, it looks bloody amazing as well. Like, it should look silly, but it didn't look silly. It actually looks really good. And they clearly filmed it really well. So yeah, I like at the end as well how the team are just like, because the team was stuck in the building the whole time. They had no part in fighting the monster. Akiko and the kid were outside. Ultraman was fighting, and that's it. The rest of the team were just stuck in the building the entire episode. At the end, they were like, "Oh, he's been defeated. Everything's okay." And they're like, they asked Hayata like, "How did you? What did they say?" It was like 2 hours ago now. I've forgotten already. But they said something like, "Who defeated it?" And Hayata said, "I defeated it." Because he's Ultraman. And the kid was like, "No, don't be silly. It wasn't Hayata. It was Ultraman who did it. I cannot wait until they all find out that Hayata's Ultraman." Even Ide already suspects him. And they've not mentioned that since. So I thought that was... I thought that was quite interesting, and I guess the kid in this episode also becomes a new member as well, officially. Episode 18 was Brother from Another Planet. This is one of the things that reminds me of like what they did in other shows multiple times. So before I start, I accidentally watched episode 19 before episode 18. Why? Because I'm watching on Avanav's playlist, and it was missing a video, and I thought it was missing the episode 0, that's what I thought. But it was missing episode 18. Maybe it got taken down or blocked, but I found a few other videos. One was English dubbed, not subtitled, and it sounded weird from the first 2 minutes. And the other one was in normal Japanese, but it wasn't subtitled in English, so I couldn't understand it. So I was just like, okay. So I found a website, and I found the episode, and I found the right one with subtitles, and I watched it there. But I watched 19 first by accident, because I thought I was watching episode 18. That's what I thought I was watching. And then I was just like, wait, it says on this website that the villain is Alien Zarab. This is not Alien Zarab, this is like a red dinosaur. What's going on? And then I realized, oh, this is episode 19, not 18. So I'll review 19 after this, but just so you know, I watched 19 before 18. So yeah, anyways. But I'll review 18 just now, even though I watched it after 19. But we're still going to review in order of episode, otherwise we don't want to confuse everyone. But regardless, you don't need to... It doesn't matter which one I watch first anyway, because it wasn't a two-parter, so we're all good. Anyway, yeah, this one was Alien Zarab and the evil Imposter Ultraman. So this was the very original Imposter Ultraman. We've seen Imposter Ultraman in so many shows. I think Dinah was one, Deca was another one, Trigger, Tiga. There's quite a lot of shows where they've done an evil version of Ultraman, and it's an imposter, you know, masquerading as Ultraman, kind of make people turn on Ultraman, make people scared of Ultraman. Like this hero that is now attacking us is to try and make humans fear or turn on Ultraman, and that's like a psychological way of defeating humans by doing that to their ally. So like, yeah, it's a really smart tactic from any villain, but it was cool to see it done for the first time. Like I mentioned when I reviewed episode 1, I was just like, oh, this is the very first time they did all these concepts of the guy transforming at the end and the guy running back to his team. In this episode, this is the first time ever that they did the Imposter Ultraman. And I think that's pretty cool, because I have seen it in so many different eras. I've seen it in like almost every era apart from this one. In the new shows, in the shows that are old but not too old, I've seen multiple versions of an evil Ultraman. So to see the original one, the very first evil Imposter Ultraman, it's cool. I was just like, yeah, that's awesome. So this is the first time they did it, the first time they created this concept. It's really awesome. And also on top of that, it's good to see the kaijus and aliens that are beloved for so many decades for the first time as well. Obviously, you don't see every single one, but you still see a lot of kaiju that become iconic later. So like, you see the origins of so much in the show, and I'm really enjoying seeing that as well. Even Ultra Q has some kaiju that obviously we see later on that become iconic as well, even though there's no Ultraman. But yeah, seeing Imposter Ultraman for this was the first time they did that. It was awesome, and with the practical effects of it, it was really fun. So yeah, I also love when Alien Zarab said he used the quote, "Curiosity killed the cat." I did not expect that in an Ultraman show, but it's a pretty common phrase. I just didn't expect that exact phrase in an Ultraman show. I read that subtitles just like, Alien Zarab said that? What's going on? But yeah, Alien Zarab also knows that Hayata's Ultraman, so he kind of, I guess he detects it or whatever. So that's the first time as well that the villain knows who Ultraman is. So there's another first time for that. It must have been groundbreaking back then. And I don't have much else written down, but it was just really exciting seeing Alien Zarab again and seeing this imposter fake Ultraman. And the fight at the end between Ultraman and Ultraman destroying Zarab in the end. It was fun. It was really fun to watch. Wasn't quite as funny as wasn't quite as good a fight as the Bolton one, but that was just because it was very unique. But it was a really fun fight to watch. Episode 19, which I watched before this one. The kaiju in this are Vanilla and Aboras. So one's red themed, one's blue themed. They're both kaiju causing chaos, but both kaiju hate each other, so they fight each other. So this reminds me of, I think it was Max. So these were it's different kaiju in Max, but was it Max or was it Gaia? In one of those two shows, there were two kaiju that were opposites of each other, and they fought each other, and like they had to stop it. They had to like destroy both of them at the same time to get rid of them, because if you just killed one, it would just come back. Unless that was Blazer. I think that was Blazer actually. That might have been Blazer. But I think it happened also again in a different show as well. I think it was Max or Guy, I can't remember. But there was a similar theme to this. To Vanilla and Aboras. There's two kaiju, one's red, one's blue, and they fight each other. And they got to try and destroy both of them, even though both of them trying to destroy each other. This storyline I've seen with other kaiju. I think the one I'm referencing, I can't remember which one. Was it Blaze or something else? But I think you know what I mean. Those kaiju I think are not the same ones. I think they're different. I don't know if they use these kaiju again in any of the shows. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But I'm not entirely sure. But I've definitely seen a couple different shows where they've done this sort of concept where there's two kaiju that are fighting each other, and you got to stop that and destroy them both. But I don't think it was Vanilla and Aboras. But yeah, the designs on these kaiju were pretty cool. They kind of emerge out of a time capsule that the team finds at the start. From the number's very unique, 300 million and 5,000 years ago. It goes 300, 005, 000. So 300 million and 5,000. Yeah, 300 million and 5. It's a very interesting, unique number that they choose. Just put the 5 randomly, but from that many years ago, they find this time capsule, and it's from like an ancient race, I guess, ancient empire. Were they humans? I can't remember. But it's from a long time ago, before the Ice Age, a while ago, from what I remember. And basically, these people that left this capsule, they buried these two kaiju, like because they were a danger. They buried them, and they wanted to keep them sealed away from the world. And these kaiju re-emerged again. So that's a pretty interesting concept. So yeah, in the end, Vanilla's defeated by the team, so Ultraman doesn't transform yet, but Vanilla's defeated first, and then Aboras is still alive. Ultraman transforms, fights Aboras in a stadium. That was a pretty cool fight. It was pretty fun to watch, and in the end, Ultraman wins, as usual. So yeah, that was a fun episode. I quite enjoyed that. Episode 20, Terror on Route 87. Ooh. So the kaiju in this, I was gonna say Hydra, but it's actually Hydra. I think it's pronounced Hydra, something similar to that. But there's a mysterious child that walks into the base, and this child tells Akiko that Hydra the dragon is coming. Please be careful. You have been warned. Please be prepared. And then the kid leaves, and then Ide walks in, and he doesn't see the kid. So it's just like, what just happened? So Ide calls security. They said they seen no kid. They start insulting him. It was quite a funny scene. I also like how I didn't mention in one of the episodes when I mentioned episode 1 as well, but also when the phone rings, it sounds like King Ghidorah. the SSSP, the Science Party base phone. The ringtone is King Ghidorah's roar, the classic Toho King Ghidorah roar. I thought that was it's pretty funny how they borrow that. I like how they borrow certain things from each other. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, this kid disappears, and it turns out later on that this kid is a ghost. So I did not think of that until the very end of the episode. I feel like I should have thought of that earlier. But yeah, the kid was actually never actually there. The kid was there, but as a ghost. He wasn't like physically there. But Akiko saw the kid. No one else saw the kid, but Akiko did. Hydra reminds me of Rodan. I don't know if they borrowed the Rodan suit from Toho, but it did look. It had some similarities to classic Rodan, which I thought was pretty cool. I just was like, oh, that looks like Ultraman's version of Rodan. I think it's pronounced more Radon in Japanese. Hayata, at one point in a battle, he gets injured from a crash, and I was wondering, because later on Hayata transformed, but he had an arm brace. He was like injured, he was braced on his arm, like he was like this, walking like this all day, and then he transformed, and like it did not affect Ultraman, I'm pretty sure. Like his arms were fine in the battle. So like there are some shows where Ultraman, if the human is hurt, Ultraman's also gonna feel the same pain. It didn't seem like that with Ultraman in 1966. Maybe they didn't like create that element yet, but yeah, unless I misread it. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting how Ultraman was fully able to use his arm, even though his human host could not. I thought that was because you kind of draw strength from the human host, right? So yeah, I thought that was that's definitely a thing I questioned. But yeah, there's this big fight going on, and eventually Hydra starts. I was going to say Rodan. Hydra starts flying away. Ultraman's about to do the kill shot after a big fight. There's a big battle with the military and with Ultraman. And Akiko sees the child on top of the kaiju, the same child you saw at the start of the episode. She sees him again there as a ghost on top of the dragon. And Akiko screams at Ultraman. She doesn't even scream, but like you'd imagine she probably did. Because you have to be pretty loud to talk to Ultraman. But regardless, she told Ultraman, she wasn't screaming, but she told Ultraman, you can't you can't destroy the monster. You can't do it. Let it fly away. And it flew away, and that was it. And in the end, in the final scenes, Cap basically mentioned that Hydra might be an incarnation of children killed in car accidents. So then this is when I really realized. I'm just like, oh, that's why that kid is dead. That's very sad. And that's his ghost. So this monster's like, this kaiju's like a protector of children. And they mentioned also someone who caused the crash of a child, of that child, I'm fairly certain, admitted to the crime. But yeah, this is essentially a punishment for children that were killed in car accidents. So that was very interesting to hear that, because the monster looked pretty evil for most of it, but at the end of the day, it was just, you know, kind of taking revenge. It was kind of protecting children. So that was there was a good message there, that's for sure, a good message. And finally, episode 21, Breach the Wall of Smoke, featuring the kaiju Chemula, which I recognize from somewhere, but I can't remember which show exactly. So it starts with like 4 women who are kind of climbing a mountain, and they're like next to a volcano, and there's 2 of them that says we want to go up and see it, and the other 2 are just like, we want to stay here. So like they're like, you're a chicken, we'll go then. So they go and they see this big pit, a volcanic pit, and it's like, it looks like a weird puddle. It looks like a weird giant puddle. It's grey and ashy. So they throw an apple into it for some reason, because that's what you should do. So they threw an apple. They walked away because the view was boring to them. So the pool started steaming up, and apparently it was fog. It looked more like steam, but it was fog. So the whole area started fogging up, and they're just like, "What's going on? What is this?" And they've awoken a kaiju, because there was a kaiju under there. So you know, sometimes you just got to leave certain things alone, because you never know when nature fights back. I think that's kind of a message from that opening scene, to be honest. It was cool to see Akiko and the kid go on a mission, because I mentioned earlier how they're not taken seriously enough. Akiko is told she can go on a mission by herself, but she goes with the kid as well. And I thought that was pretty cool, but unfortunately, they didn't get to do much, which is... I was just like, damn it, they finally put them on their mission. They finally give Akiko a chance to do something on the team. And she's knocked out for most of the episode. It's like, come on, give her one good episode. That's all I ask. One good episode where she does something heroic. But yeah, it was still pretty funny, but it's just that the fact that she got to go on her first mission, like, properly. I don't know if it was her first, but it felt like it. And then for her to be knocked out for most of it after, you know, getting taken down straight away, it's just like, damn it. To be fair, it was a big kaiju, and like, but still. Anyway, yeah, there's a big battle with the military and tanks and stuff. Hayata transforms because Hayata was in the jet, but he got shot down, and he escaped from the jet, and in midair he transformed. That was a pretty cool scene. And yeah, there's a pretty cool fight scene. And then Kemula has a weak point. There's a part of his body that it's like a yellow dot thing. You gotta destroy that if you want to defeat this monster. So Ultraman manages to hold it in the right position just in time. So Ide gets shoot a bazooka at the monster to finally take it down. And I'm pretty sure it's the kid's idea, and he doesn't get taken seriously still. But clearly that kid is very... I keep forgetting his name, I'm sorry. Even I'm not taking him seriously enough, to be honest, because I don't remember his name, even though I hear it all the time. But that kid is clearly very smart, a very smart character in this. Comes up with a lot of good ideas, and is right a lot of the time. But still, because he's a kid, isn't taken as seriously. But I find that quite interesting, because Ide took all the credit because he fired the bazooka in the end. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. He's like, I feel like the kid is like a young Gamu, because he has all these smart suggestions. But because he's even younger than Gamu, he's like half Gamu's age probably. It's like, oh, it doesn't work as well. But yeah, I still think that's pretty cool. And at the end, Kemula dies kind of slowly. I felt kind of bad for it at one point. Like, it took the hit and then it walked away, and it kept walking, and it almost died. Then it woke up again. Then it went into the volcano, into like a geyser or something, and it exploded in there. So I was just like, that was a very, very slow death, a very slow death. But yeah, there you go. 5 more episodes. I really enjoyed that, and next time I'll be doing, I think, 4. Because 26, 27 is a 2-parter. So I'm going to do that as its own video. Just one video for 2 episodes. So next one is 4. Then we're doing 2. And then 5 again. And then I think 6. Because I'll do the finale by itself as well. So not many videos left. But I want to get it done before I fly somewhere in June. So I want to make sure this is fully watched first. Because I don't want to just leave it for too long. Even though the first 3 videos are like a month apart. But still, you know, 3 in a week is pretty good. Pretty damn good. This is your boy Davidoff. Please like, share, subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a good day and goodbye.
Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time where